warahmatullah. So it's that time of week again. It's our usual Friday night live. So we'll come on and get some questions asked, questions asked and answered, and have a general catch up with everyone. See how everyone is. Hope everyone's keeping well. Let's see who comes in for a chat. So far, we've got two people in the chat. We've got the Muslim gardener, Hamza. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Graham, how are you doing, man? Thanks for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Hope everyone's good. So we're back live again across TikTok and across YouTube. What was that? I'm not sure what happened there, but my live just sort of died on TikTok. So let's resume that. Let's see how that goes. The battery's dying. That's what it is. Okay. So it's been a busy day. It's been, whenever the weekend comes, it's just non-stop. It's just never ending. Okay, that doesn't want to work. Fine. Okay, we'll have to scrap TikTok for tonight, and we'll just stick to good old YouTube. Let's see how everyone's doing. So Moz is in the house. How are you doing, man? Thanks very much for coming in. Massive congratulations on getting that, on getting all those leaves for yourself. That's pretty good going. Let's see who else is coming in. So what's everyone been up to? How's everyone faring with all the bad weather and the snow? How you're managing with that? Because it's been freezing out here today, and it's set to hit -6 tonight. So it's going to be an interesting night tonight because we haven't got a log burner working. We've got a little bit of an issue with our log burner at the moment, so it's not working on the coldest night of the year. So let's see. Jerome Matt, how are you doing? Love your videos and insight into UK gardening from Mexico. Thank you very much for that compliment. Really appreciate it. Hope everything's good with you, and hope your gardening's going well. Coastal Gardens, how are you doing, man? Hope you're keeping well. Thanks very much for coming in. A few new faces will be coming in tonight. That are very welcome. I hope they enjoy it. My tomatoes are doing good. My Asian plants like hodu, karela, pumpkin are in my attic. They're all about a hand long. My chicken's been doing good. 5 eggs a day in a 7 chicken flock. Mashallah, that's fantastic. Well, I'm still on the lookout for some baby chicks or some young chicks, and hopefully grow them on. But it's hard to find stuff. It's hard to find stuff that's reasonably priced. I need to find a chicken auction near me so I can get out there and see what's going on. Dandy Mum, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Just trying to get through Carolina. Did you cook that yourself or did someone else cook it for you? Yeah, I'm doing all right. A little bit cold. Just got in. Well, it's not been long since I got in. We're out door knocking, just out on the campaign trail. Bobby, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping well, and it's freezing here too. It's going to hit -6 tonight, I think. That's the prediction on the forecast. So let's see how it goes. Rob's Allotment Gardening. Rob, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Started some hot peppers today. You'd like what hot peppers have you started? I found a guy in Melton Mulberry. His main source, to my knowledge, of cream leg bar chickens for hatching. He sources from Nottingham and other places. Yeah, that'd be good if you could send his number over. And Duncan who's Duncan? Duncan is in the house. Let's see. Started some habanero. Mortgage scorpion. What's a mortgage scorpion? Home cooked Carolina Reaper. So if you call him Duncan, why All right, Rob's allotment, and he's Duncan. Okay, that's not confusing at all. Carano, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Oh, Maruga Scorpion. All right. Oh man. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. It just, guys, it just takes a moment for me to catch up, and then once I'm there, once I'm warmed up, I'm firing on all cylinders. But at the moment, I'm just still warming up from being outside. The hot peppers that Duncan has started. Duncan, yeah. Which ones has he started? Maruga Scorpion. I love Maruga Scorpion. A couple of years ago, we grew loads and loads of caramel Maruga Scorpion, and they were absolutely beautiful. Really nice chilies, and yeah, they were really nice chilies. The color was beautiful, and that little spike on the end just look, yeah, they look absolutely awesome. They're hot, yeah. Margaret, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Rob, I hope not. I think I'm still here. But let me know if it doesn't clear up. So it's going to be a cold night ahead, so make sure you've got your plants and all your young seedlings protected. So if you've got them on a windowsill, get them off the windowsill just so they don't catch a draft, because it's predicted to be -6 here in Leeds. I don't know where it's gonna be like where you are. So do get them off the windowsill, protect them from any cold sort of drafts that are going to come through, and just. But the rest of the week should start getting a little bit milder. It's not going to get warm, but the rest of March looks to be hovering around sort of the 1 or 2 degrees on a night type of range. But at least where if you've got them in under shelter, somewhere protected, somewhere in like in a greenhouse or in your home, then at least you'll get some good daylight. Now the day lengths are a lot longer. Alan, how are you doing, mate? Straight away, hit that like. Absolutely. We've got 24 people, 7 likes. If you haven't hit that like, what do I need to say? Hit that like. There we go. I was first as usual. Of course, man. Graham's always here, bang on time, right at the start. Even if I'm late, he's here. Absolutely. So what's everyone up to? What are your plans for this weekend? So Rob's doing Carolina Reaper, Scotch Bonnet, and some others. So for most of you, you'll know that I'm a bit of a chili nut. So I've got Carolina Reapers, Marugas. Without a doubt, we've got Naga, some crazy amount of Nagas going again this year. I think it's going to be a hot year. If anyone saw the article from The Guardian I posted a few weeks ago, we've had the driest February on record. So when we've had a dry winter like this, the reservoirs haven't had a chance to refill. So be prepared for an early hosepipe ban. Any sign of sort of prolonged heat, we're going to get a very quick hosepipe ban. I can tell. I think it's going to be a hot year, and I think we're gonna get that ban coming very quickly. So just be careful. Make sure you're starting to plan for that. Kilted Gardener, long time no see in the chat, man. How are you keeping? Alan, what card you buy? Going down to -4 here. Rob, where are you based? Did everyone wake up with snow this morning? Because we woke up with about 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. So let's see. Yeah, let's see how it gets. An Audi Q2. That's a bit fancy. Nice. Nice, very nice. But good. You got a souped up version. Are you into that? Been up to the allotment the last couple of days, brushing snow off the polytunnel and filling my water butts with snow. See, snow's a great thing to fill up your water butts as well. And if you can take some of that snow into your water, into your polytunnel, it's really good to get into your ground. It's what they call structured water, because the water's had a chance to expand and go through those hydrogen double bonds. It holds onto oxygen a lot better once it's melted again. So it's really good for watering plants with. So do look up that term, structured water. So what I'm going to be doing here, what I'm going to be doing tomorrow when I get some chance to get out into the garden, is I'm going to be shoveling as much snow as I can, as much ice as I can into my greenhouses, and just let it soak all into the beds and just let it melt down slowly. I mean, the sun was absolutely glorious today. So in my greenhouses, the temperature was about 15-16 degrees most of the day, even though outside it was 0 or -1, that sort of temperature. So keeping up, kid's been sick for about a month. Oh man. Anything serious? I hope it's nothing serious. Where are you moving to? So Rob's in Leicester. Oh, you're going to be a little bit warmer down there. Very hot year to come, and going to get hotter, bro. We had about 10 millimeters of snow. So we had about 3 inches of snow, something like that. So a fair bit. 25 grand used. Yeah, that's a fair amount. Wife said remove no more upgrades on the car. I'm too. Rob, you want a massive spoiler on the back? Yeah, get it tinted out, lowered, big, massive alloys, and then get out. Oh, norovirus, I suppose I just got. Yeah, norovirus, it's never pleasant, is that? Yeah, it's never pleasant, especially when the kids get it. Toss Stones, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Drought been hard here considering the north. If the north has had it devastating floods, all plants like annuals too fragile to flourish this season. Oh, it's getting weather's getting crazier and crazier. You're getting more and more extremes. So yeah, I think this is -5 is probably the coldest. -6 is going to hit tonight. I think that's the coldest March that I remember seeing. We've had cold Marches and we've had cold Aprils, but I don't think we've had it as cold as this before. But that is strange because February, apart from the first couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks of February was really mild. There was even a couple of days that I was wearing a t-shirt, and you know me, I don't do well in the cold. So Graham's avoiding the tax man. Oh man. Oh, there's the tax. Rob's caught you. So what's everyone going to be up to this weekend in the garden? So I think my job for tomorrow is to get as much snow into the greenhouses as possible, and allow that water to soak into the beds. I think it'll do really good for the beds. And then the rest of the day, I'm going to be potting up plants, and get my window, my grow table set up in the attic, and then get to start moving plants up to there. So Louise, too snowy to garden in Chesterfield, but loads of seeds germinating on the windowsill, running out of space. Tell us a little bit about what you've got growing, Louise. Laura, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. I just got my first chicken, so fantastic. What chickens did you get? I love hearing that. Yeah, tell us what chickens you got. Late to the party? Never. Not at all. I was late to the party myself, so don't worry about it. You're welcome. You're here now, and the party's just getting warmed up. I'm not tripping over my tongue as much as I was at the start of the stream. So here we go. Hopefully get some seeds started on windowsills. What are you planning on sowing, Carano? You okay?
Yeah.
I'll be in my attic potting up plants. Wicked. Wilbur something or other. Ex Battery Girls. They're, normal red hybrid hens. They're some of the friendliest chickens generally around. They're some of the plants that are the chickens that I really like, because they I know I said plants, I meant chickens. I've just got plants on my mind, I guess. But the chickens that I really like, they're good around the kids, they're good around the family.
If you don't have a rooster like ours.
Yeah, our red one was crazy, wasn't it? He's gone, but a white one's good. A white one's a good rooster.
Yeah, but Blur's still scared at him.
No, he's not as bad. He's a good one, this one.
But he still goes acting like a king and stuff.
So I'm going to see an apple orchard with rare varieties. He's just going for a visit. Rob Green, how's your chilies doing? Chilies are doing pretty good. We've got one of the sad things is we've got aphids a lot earlier than we hoped. Normally we don't get aphids this early, possibly because of the amount of chilies that we overwintered. We're breaking those out of dormancy, and it's possible the aphids are possibly overwintered around those plants, and the houses they're in the house. Yeah, they eat the plant. So they suck the sap out of the plant. So I was washing.
Like aphids harmless to humans.
Yeah, they're harmless to humans, but they're bad to plants. But so I've been washing, giving the plants the old neem oil and fairy liquid treatment, pretty much at least once a week now. So we did that this morning, didn't we?
Did what?
Washing the plants. Oh, you were too busy playing in the snow while I was doing that. Just start off some veg and salad stuff. Yeah, our snow was about this deep.
Big as my hand.
As big, yeah. There you go. So about 3 or 4 inches.
We couldn't even tell where the road was because there was so much snow.
So been decorating all day. Need to start potting up as well. 29 sets of seeds sown, all germinated. What type of seeds have you sown? Did you? Been about 16 Celsius to 21 Celsius, 60 to. That's quite nice. Almost, yeah, t-shirt weather.
T-shirt weather where?
In America, where the kilted gardener is. I had about 2 inches of snow here near Abergavenny. Lovely, sunny. It's been a really sunny day. The sun's been absolutely gorgeous today. Really nice and warm.
Why is it always sunny when the snow comes out?
Because it looks brighter. Because when the sun rays come in, and because of the white everywhere, the rays bounce off, so it looks a lot brighter. So it gets reflected a lot more. So that's why it does look brighter. But it was quite sunny as well, though. The only hens I have ever had are Rhode Island Reds. I wouldn't mind some Rhode Island Reds.
Sounds like you guys are talking about plants or something.
Here in Kansas, we've been having rainy days, freezing temperatures overnight. I can't really direct snow, but I'm thinking of starting some mustards and lettuces inside.
It says so, not snow.
Oh, I can't really direct sow. Okay. I was wondering why I was reading snow. I'm talking about snow, and I'm, yeah.
He lives in Virginia.
Nothing wrong with playing in the snow. The thing is, do you know, like, I don't know how they don't feel the cold.
From getting outside.
No one banned you from going outside. You got the hump and stayed in, so don't.
No.
Yeah.
It's my throat, and you told me to stay inside.
No, it was because you got the hump, so yeah. No one banned you. Got a few videos to record over the weekend. So Kilted Gardeners in Virginia. Oh no, he's moving to Virginia.
Is he?
I'm gonna try to grow coriander again. I've been following your growing guide and I've successfully germinated and got them started. However, they kind of always go anemic and they stay tiny. How thickly do you sow them? Do you know when you got them?
6 to 8 inches of snow.
Yeah. No. How thickly do you sow them, or how heavily? if they're going anemic, there's a couple of things probably. Lack of nitrogen might be one of them. Lack of space might be one of them, and lack of light is probably the other cause. So check on those three things. But generally, they don't need loads and loads of light. But if you're really struggling, try adding some chicken manure into, what, take a few chicken manure pellets or a little bit of chicken manure, soak it in water, and then use that to water your plants. And then that way, you're just giving it a boost of nitrogen, and that'll normally encourage it a little bit. So we got a bit more snow here, 6 to 8 inches of snow, and had 2 snow days from work. But you can't be climbing in snow though. It's going to be dangerous for you. When do you repot chilies? So Rob, that's one of my jobs for tomorrow. So I'll probably get a video out on Sunday of how I'm repotting some of my plants. So we both have land on the edge of an ancient volcano, so the same soil and climate. So I'm very interested in seeing what. Oh man, do you know your ancient volcano? Is it still active, or has it got a crater or anything that you can go and have a look at? That'd be awesome to see. I have grown Jerusalem artichokes. I've got them in a big black pot, so I've got them in a 30-litre pot. We normally just sort of harvest them right at the end, so we've still got a load in the ground that we need to harvest. We harvest them, we pull what we need, and then just chuck the roots back in the ground, and they grow again for the next year. But yeah, they're not a massive one on our list, but what we do is we cook them down, and we cook them down and make a dal out of them. So do you know how you'd normally make dal out of lentils? So we cook the Jerusalem artichokes down so much that they melt, and then we make a dal out of them, and it's quite nice. It is really good. Growing Tabasco and aji lemon chilies, tomatoes and strawberries. Also got my son interested in gardening, and he has a load of sweet corn started. Louise, where are you based? Because did you say you were in Chesterfield? Because it's a little bit early for sweet corn, I'd say. So just watch that. They will need a lot of protection. 37 people, 17 likes. Hit that like button. Absolutely. Please don't be shy. Iris, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. I start around 12:15 in the afternoon here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Lebanon, Pennsylvania, which is where I work. It was Florries, but it didn't stick to. It's been so Harrisburg. Do you know I was in Indiana, Pennsylvania? That's where I went to college out there. So yeah, so not far from where you are. Got 30 videos to watch. Di, how are you doing? No worries at all. Glad you made it. I hope you're keeping well. Oh, what have I done there? I've pressed something funny. Oops, what am I doing? When the cold weather is gone, I can put radishes, beetroot, spring onions, and sweet peas and herbs in my polytunnel end of March, and they'll be safe. Yeah. So, are you gonna direct sow then? Are you gonna just transfer them out? Happy Jack retracted a message. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Let's see. So I start pot. Yeah, I'm gonna start potting some of my chilies tomorrow. Well, but one of the things that I was doing today was making sure that every single thing was properly yeah, properly washed with loads of washing up liquid, because we're just trying to get that aphids under control. We've got them nasty red aphids that they just seem to be really, really problematic for us. They were bad last year and they're bad this year. But one of the things that I did was I left about 2 weeks ago. I left a box full of naga plants outside, thinking it's a little bit windy, leave them. And I meant to bring them, bring them back in after an hour or so, and I forgot about them. I left them for the whole day, and they were looking really, really miserable. By the time I brought them back in, really wilted down. They just look really weak. So, yeah. Transfer them out and they'll be safe end of March because I'm running out of space. Yeah, I think you'll be all right at the end of March if you transfer them into a polytunnel. Is your polytunnel staying frost free? One of the things that, when it's going to get as cold as it is tonight, I think my greenhouse, there will be a little bit of frost on the inside of the greenhouse. I think we won't get any ground frost in there. That normally doesn't happen, but we do get some ice on the inside of the glass. There's a live come on the local albatross colony. Department of Conservation on YouTube shows the harbour where I live. Drop us a link to that and we'll have a look. Happy Jack. I'm planting my first veg garden in containers. I bought some parsnip, celeriac and kale in baby plants. Is it okay to plant outside yet? Growing in South Wales. What's your temperature like out at the moment? So you've got celeriac and kale. So have you got you've got kale baby plants, yeah? If it's not frosty, it'll be fine to plant your kale out. They're quite hardy, so they'll be all right. But when it gets, when it gets really cold, just give them a little bit of protection. I've never grown celeriac before, so I can't advise you on that. Parsnip towards the end of March, when the ground's quite soft, as you're in containers, you should be able to grow them outside. But remember, parsnips germinate, they germinate really slowly. So one of the things that a lot of people do with parsnips is they chip them. So they chip the seeds first on a bit of damp tissue. So if you just take a plastic container, like a plastic takeaway container, put a bit of damp tissue in there, germinate your parsnips in there, and once your parsnips have germinated, just transplant them outside, and then you know which one is you're planting and which one's actually gonna, you're not going to get any misfires. So polytunnel's 100% frost free. I've got everything covered up with the old soft blanket. Oh, nice and tucked away. My polytunnel's warmer than my house. That's what it felt like in the greenhouse today, actually. So our wood burner's been off. We've got a little bit of an issue with the chimney. So the fitters are due out next Friday. So our wood burner's been off for a couple of weeks now. So hopefully they'll come out and get it sorted for us. Does anyone know Elaine Ingham? Have you guys heard of Elaine Ingham? Do you have to wait for the roots? Rob, depends on how you've got them planted, right? So you don't necessarily have to wait for roots to come out the bottom. I don't normally wait for that long because of the way I grow. Generally, when I grow, I'm growing multiple plants in the same spot. So once they've developed their true leaves and they're starting to look like decent plants, then I'll sort of separate them out of that single pot, and then I'll plant them on into separate places. They'll establish themselves. Once they establish themselves a nice root ball, then I'll move them into a bigger pot and give them their own probably 6 centimeter pot or something. I have loads of soil sifting to do, but I can't get to it because of the snow. What soil are you sifting? I'm trying to chip my parsnips on paper towel and on a layer of soil. It don't look good yet, but have you got them on heat or anything? Because it'd be good to give them a little bit of heat and then they'll see that. So they'll germinate a little bit faster. About 15C would do it, 10 to 15 Celsius. I normally wait till the roots start showing at the bottom, but don't forget that there's no such thing as leggy tomato. Yeah, with tomatoes it's a little bit different. Yeah, absolutely right. There's no with tomatoes, you just plant them deeper. Absolutely. I mean, the only good thing about good thick plants is they're much stronger in terms of supporting the fruit. Something like sometimes with leggy tomatoes or thinner stem tomatoes, is they can flop over. If you watch my last video, I'm chipping my pepper seeds in a takeaway tubs. Yeah, absolutely no wood burner. Couldn't be with. See, this is the thing. We've got the wood burner, and for some reason over the last few weeks we've developed. The house has been smelling more and more of smoke, so we got the chimney swept. The chimney sweep came out. He said there's a normal amount of stuff in there. It's looking good. You're burning good quality, decent wood. You're not burning anything nasty. The kind of ash, the kind of soot that he wanted came out, but there's smoke leaking out of the chimney stack into the rooms. So where the twin wall plugs into one another, there's smoke leaking out of the sides into the bedroom. So it's not good at the moment. So we've had it switched off for the last couple of weeks, and we're waiting for next Friday for the guys to come out and fix it, which isn't good because tonight's going to be a cold one. Could you please run through the winter plant first, early, second release, and main crop, or second early main crop potatoes in succession, i.e. 30s end of this month? Okay. So when to plant first? So first earlies, if your soil's generally frost-free, if your environment's generally frost-free, first earlies is now till the end of this month is a good time to go with first earlies, and they're normally done in anywhere between 2.5 to 3 months to 4 months, that sort of range. Your second earlies, what I'd do is I'd normally sow them sort of early to mid-April, and then they're normally done a little. Yeah, they're normally ready in about 3.5 4 months time, a little bit longer than your first earlies, and the potatoes are generally a little bit bigger. And then your main crop, I'd normally go for them again at the end of sort of same time as your second earlies. With your first earlies, plant them a little bit earlier, so you get your harvest a little bit earlier as well. Your second earlies, plant at the same time as your main crop, but you get that staggered harvest a little bit earlier. Is that sort of answer your question? Yeah, I hope we get it fixed soon, because it's not nice to be without it, because the house is cold. Finally we got to a point where we could have a warm house, and now it's back to being cold again. And as Yorkshiremen, we don't like spending money on gas. Need to get yourself a fish tank. Best place to start seeds. I need the space for a fish tank. I used to have loads of fish tanks. I had to get rid of them once the kids learned to walk and started banging the fish tanks with it, pretty much anything they could find. good topsoil into a couple of new local garden centres. A sale on tomorrow. That could be excuse me. Planning to start my tomato seed sowing this weekend. Clean the greenhouse, take perennial kale cuttings, and generally potter about. I could do some pottering about as well. I just, do you know when you say pottering about, that just clears your mind. Just being outside and just wandering about, touching this and fiddling with that, and having a little go at this. I find it so relaxing. Do you know when I'm stressed, one of the things that I like to go and actually do, I like to go and turn my compost pile, or I like to get my compost pile and sift compost. These are things that I really enjoy doing, especially when I've got a lot on. It just takes me away from everything. I thought they were banning wood burners. Not at all, Rob. They're not banning them at all. They've tightened up on what kind of wood burner you can have, so a good efficient one, and they've tightened up on the kind of fuel you can burn in a wood burner. But yeah, they're not banning them. They won't be banning them, not at all. The thing is, they can't ban them. Too many rich people have got them. Too many rich, powerful people have got them. Yeah, they won't ban them at all. If brassica seeds gone a bit leggy, do I plant them deeper or start new seeds? When you say a bit leggy, tell us about the plant. Brassicas do like to be planted deeper, so normally you plant them at the first, up to you plant them all the way down to the first set of true leaves. Now, if they've got leggy beyond that, then I'd still keep those plants because you've already got a jump on the season, but I'd sow some more as backups. Is your chimney lined? It's a twin wall system, so it runs through the center of the house. It's just a twin wall system, so there's no lining like that. Best to be safe, mate. Yeah, it's not brick or anything like that. It's just a twin wall system that is just like a metal pipe that runs through the center of the house, but it interlocks into different sections. See next Friday. I know, Graham, man. I think this is what I was talking to my sister about, because like my chainsaw, that electric chainsaw that I had, that stopped working. It started, so I sent it back, and that's been 3 weeks at the factory now for a replacement. So I was talking to my sister, right, and whenever she complains about stuff, they always give her free stuff. It doesn't, she'll ring up a mobile phone and say I'm leaving or something, and she'll get loads of free stuff, like loads of add-on minutes and all of this kind of stuff, free upgrades. I ring up and say, look, I'm leaving. They say, all right, see you later. So I rang up Wix today, and I started complaining that my chainsaws it's been gone for 3 weeks, and they're like, okay, so I'll email them, and that's the best I can do. See you later. Yeah, same. I get the same response, so I'm gonna get my kid sisters to ring them tomorrow. So main crop stay for about 90 days. Sorry, not 90 days, for about 6 months. That sort of range. You plant them now, you'll be harvesting them. So if you plant them now, you'll harvest them September, October, that sort of time. Not now. Plant them in April, early April, you'll be harvesting them September, October, that sort of time. I still got my potatoes in buckets outside. I don't think they'll be any good now. I've got some potatoes in buckets. They're still harvesting quite well. The only thing that you might notice is, depends on how warm they are, is they might start sprouting. I've still got potatoes in the ground that I'm picking. We're picking potatoes once every couple, whenever we need them. I've probably got about 20 or 30 plants still in the ground that I can pull. but I picked some a few days ago, and yeah, they were really good still. The ones in the ground were better than the ones in the pots. But my potatoes in the ground are not in the actual ground; they're in wood chip. Tony, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. How's everything going? So it's coming. I've got all the files now. Just need to upload onto the publishers. And it's never ending for you, man. How is everything at the moment? It's always quite busy for you. So have you looked at still chainsaws? I got one. They don't break. See, I got an electric chainsaw, so a battery powered one. And the reason I got a battery powered one was I was a bit scared of handling a petrol chainsaw. I've never used one before. I'm not the strongest person in the world. I'm not So I know that chainsaws can be quite dangerous, and because I'm not that experienced with one, I went for a battery one, thinking that it's not going to have the same sort of kick. I'm going to be able to control it a little bit easier. Generally, it's quite a good chainsaw. It does the trick, but for some reason this thing developed a little fault, so I sent it back, and they're supposed to send a replacement out. All good. I hope we change a bit of still cost an arm and a leg, though. Go for a Echo instead. Decent and cheaper. See, I might go for a petrol one at some point, but I'm happy with this chainsaw, this battery one, because it comes with like a 2 volt battery. Sorry, a 2 amp battery, and that's not that powerful. So, but my elder sister, she bought me a 4 amp battery, and that 4 amp battery gives you a good amount of power, and it gives you a really good amount of kick as well, and battery life is quite good. So normally, while one's charging, I can use the other one, kill that one, and then the other one's ready on the charger. It's back with me. So there's some quite big logs. I don't know if I posted it on my Patreon. I might have done it on there. There's this huge tree, really big chunky logs, that this little chainsaw managed to cut through quite without any sort of major problems. I did buy a new chain for it, and because my old chain was quite blunt, it's had a few sharpens, and on this big tree, it was struggling a little bit. But I bought a new chain for it, and once I got that new chain on it, it went through that tree really well. So I'm quite impressed with it. And Moz, you've seen it. You've seen the chainsaw. It's quite a handy little thing. TSB Foss, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Ali wa assalamu alaikum. Going to damage a lot of crops. Ice going to damage a lot of crops. It's lambing time. Yeah. This sudden snow's coming, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. Aldi's selling a 36cc petrol chainsaw at the moment for £99. Yeah, do I go and buy a petrol chainsaw? The thing is that because I can't get my money back on this one, I don't want to really spend, even if it's £99, I don't want to go and spend more money on another chainsaw. A few of our climbers use echo chainsaws. They seem pretty good. On a positive note, I made my first gluten-free loaf of bread that's soft and doesn't crumble when you make a sandwich. Congratulations, man. Yeah. So yeah, we need that video as well on that then, mate. Tony making bread. Belgian buns. I want to see Belgian buns. When I do YouTube full time, maybe a separate channel on cooking. You're cooking your gluten-free diets. See, I was thinking about bringing in starting a new channel, maybe something a little bit more radical. So the gardening is quite it's family orientated. It's for everyone. Maybe something a little bit more political to go with all the activism that I'm doing at the minute. Nicholas Phillips, can I soak my tomato seeds in cold tea? With tomatoes, I don't really think there's a need. They germinate so easily. Even old seeds really germinate well. So you can if you want to. I don't think there's a need. Just give them the heat, and they'll really they'll really do. They'll come up really well. Yeah. I have a Husqvarna which does what I need, but the echoes are very light. See, Coastal Duncan, you and me both, mate. Yeah, you and me both. Tony, how's things looking on your small holding? Because I was looking down your way. Which part of Wales are you in? Someone else said they were in. Who said they were in Abergavenny? Is that what I read? Tina Sloan, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Curious what activism you're up to. Just mainly around sort of climate activism. I'm standing in the local council politics, so yeah, I'm standing for council this year for the second time. Let's see what happens with that. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Just doing a lot of community stuff as well. We'll be taking on the count. See, someone posted a link to something that they've done in Shropshire, I believe, where they've got the council to adopt a plan where the whole area has now a right to grow, so the public can come along and ask for any sort of public green space for them to be able to grow on. I'd love to be able to do something like that in Leeds. You know, there's loads of green land that the council, all they have to do is mow it once or twice a year, and otherwise it just turns into a dump site. So if we can get access to grow that, yeah, it'd be amazing for people. What's going on there? Something's going on. So I hated having 30 seconds on Martin's live. Loads and loads of gluten-free recipes online, as you say, is finding the time and experiment what works. You're about 15 minutes from Cardiff. Okay. Abergavenny, is that whereabouts in Wales is that? Because I was looking at Wales, there's it's compared to especially Yorkshire, or it's not as crazily priced compared to most of England. Once you get into Scotland's quite a lot cheaper, but it's too cold up there, man. Rob Digwell was showing a little chainsaw. Yeah, it could be the same chainsaw, because see, it's hard work though, because just like I was saying, just before this live, I've been out walking the streets in the cold, in the ice, in the snow, knocking on people's doors. It's not. It's not fun. But it's nice to get meeting people as well, because there's so many people who are frustrated with everything that's going on. And if you look at the way our areas, Hare Hills, Gipton has been run for however many years, it's just crazy. We've had stabbings, we've had murders, we've had people fighting on the streets with machetes, and no one seems to be bothered about it. So best not to mention Wales in the Six Nations rugby this year. Good caving in South Wales. I've never been caving. Tina, are you in Scotland? Yeah, cold. It is cold here. It is cold there. I don't do well in the cold. Like, here's cold enough for me. When you're walking the street, not in this weather. It's too slippery out there. Abergavenny is southeast Wales, very expensive here. You need to head west to Carmarthenshire and Pembrokeshire and Mid Wales for land to get more. See, a lot of stuff was coming up in Mid Wales, but then it was like there's no cities anywhere nearby, and the worry comes in is what happens if you need a doctor and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's just this week. Yeah, exactly, Moz. It's all within 2 weeks. It's just gone crazy these last couple of weeks. I lived in Gipton's not a. There's parts of Gipton that are really nice, really nice. So west coast of Scotland. So thanks for the top tip about using the skybox as a heat mat. It's done the trick for germination. That's fantastic. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Carano's in Auburn area. So desperate to start planting, but too cold in Kilmarnock. A funny no dig for victory campaign, but last year we had to get rid of some of our compost bin. Council said we couldn't have them. The plot size determine how much bins we could have. What? Whereabouts is that? That's crazy. So just the other side of Eastleigh Road from me, there's some really nice bits of Gipton. Hi, Indy from Old Woodley, Leeds, new to growing and your channel. You're very welcome. Glad you found us. So, well, if you're in Leeds, then we're just down the road, so you'll be, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing here will be really relevant for you. That's crazy. That I don't get why they told you can't have so many compost bins, because the amount of compost bins is just going to mean the amount of goodness that you can put into your soil. William, not a problem at all. I'm over in Northern Ireland and I know Scotland well. We've been lucky not getting snow, but it's far too cold to be outside. Stallion, fish keeping and gardening. How are you doing, man? Hope you're keeping well. Glad you came in. I'm sorting out who I watch on YouTube. You're sorting out who you watch on YouTube, and I'm safe. I'm safe. Tony's safe. Rob's safe. But you're only allowed certain. It sounds crazy, the amount of the limit to the amount of compost bins you can have. I was a little late and just caught the last bit about you having a burner. When we had ours installed, we had trouble no end. I became a bit of an expert and we got it sorted. How'd you get it sorted? Because ours was leaking. You know, the smoke is leaking through the joints. I've got a feeling it's something to do with the cowl, because like the cowl has the so it's supposed to be like netted or whatever it is, with the holes in. Ours has got this. They said it's an anti-draft collar, so the anti-draft collar is going right across the middle of it. So the cowl, the amount of gap for the cowl or for the smoke to escape is probably less than a third of the actual space. The draft collar takes about 2/3 of the space. I think that's probably the biggest problem. Branders is Gipton approach. I lived see, the fire station's quite nice now. Do you know where the old fire station is? That's quite nice. Branders is but do you know where oak trees are and oak wells? There's some new estates there that's really nice. My fish are having problems. Bought some new fish. They brought up an epidemic in my oh man. So what kind of problem have you got? Went to Lidl last Saturday, bought a cantaloupe lemon, washed the seed, planted 8 seeds on Monday, have 5 up. And you got to eat the melon as well. I would challenge the council over that allotment. Law states providing that you're cultivating 75% of your land, you're allowed to use it as you will, but so stressed ain't the word. I don't know the scope. I'm guessing it's a parasite, but we bacterial. They use a proper PP that destroys most things, but they're still riddled. I'm guessing you've done all the water changes. You switched them from one quarantine to the next. moved them from? Have you moved them into a quarantine tank or anything like that, or is it everything that's just completely gone? Our local government is trying to rewild empty lots by putting in, native plants and grasses rather than using them for community gardens. And then they wonder why we've got coyotes. See, community gardens would make a big difference, loads of community gardens, loads of allotments. I think there's lots of green space in Leeds that the council just has to spend money on mowing. There's like a little bit of woods next to me, so it's called the Fairy Woods, and it's got probably about 15 trees in it. It's about an acre in size, 15 trees. So there's plenty of green space in there. It's just used as a dump site, so people are just dumping all their rubbish there. But if the council turned it over to the community, we could turn it into a little bit of a farm. I'd say it'd be a really good farm, actually. Put some swings going from the trees, put some chickens in there, put some veg beds growing in there. I think it'd be a quite nice little area. Anna Mora, happy Friday to you. Hope you're keeping well. So done everything, salted treatment, etc. No deaths by. I'm sorry, mate. I'm really sorry about hearing all that. I suggest anyone who has an allotment read the laws on allotments set back in the Second World War, which is still in force and supersedes anything your local council says. That's the thing. Do you know what you're saying there? I see councils, a lot of the time you get council inspectors, especially when they try and you get a job's worth. They will try and interfere a lot. Oh, your allotment committee will try and interfere a lot. And even if the law allows you, they'll just sort of bully you into submission, or they'll try to bully you into submission. But that's where Dig It Out can actually help. Yeah. We've got a voice there to fight back. So if you haven't heard of Dig It Out, Google digitoutcampaign.com. But we're past the 9 o'clock mark. We've done well over an hour, so I'm going to call it a night here and go and catch up with the family a little bit before everyone heads off to bed. So thanks coming on, everyone, for a good chat. It's been, as always, it's been like my counselling when I come on and have a chat with you guys. It's always good to speak to you. So I'm going to call it a night there, and I'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.